So how many rounds you all each of you chant? 2 rounds? Anybody chanting more than 1 round?
I'm chanting 16 rounds.
Hari Bol. Who is this? Janardhan. Hari Bol. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. So let's begin. So this is Sadachar. Okay. So there are two, after level 1 there are 2 divisions, Bhakti Shastri and Bhakti Sadachar. So for Bhakti Shastri there are it's a committed course, okay, with assignments and rules and regulations. You need to be following the 4 regulative principles and etc. etc. And to study Bhakti Shastri, you have 2 levels prior to it. So Bhakti Shastri is a separate program where you have level 2, level 3 as well. And then you reach Bhakti Shastri. And the other division is Bhakti Sadachar. It is a continuous journey where you will be learning about literally everything about Vaishnava culture. Okay, begins with Vaishnava etiquette, the basic principles, and almost culminates in how to become a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. All right, yeah. So let's begin. We will every class we begin with a kirtan first. So it's first Mangalacharan, then kirtan. Then we will be understanding the kirtan through its translation and everything. And then we will be discussing the importance of the kirtan, and then we will be moving forward into the actual topic. Okay, so today is just an orientation session, and from the next week we will be beginning with our regular classes, and we will have one round of chanting first in the beginning of the class. We will have, even before we start with the class, we will have one round of Mahamantra chanting, and then we will begin with the class. Okay. Yeah, so let's begin. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashlakaya Chakshurim Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Rupagadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dhinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Sapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kapasindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So now it's Kartik month that's going on. It's called Damodar month. As you see in the picture, Damodar Leela happened, right? So in short, Damodar Leela is something like Krishna was stealing butter and everybody complained, and Yashoda was wanted to teach Krishna a little lesson. Okay, so she didn't want to punish him. As a mother, obviously we want to teach our children proper path, right? So in that attempt, what she did, she wanted to bind him. Okay, so because he was stealing butter and he was very mischievous. So what happened? She caught him and tied him up to a grinding mortar, as you see in the picture. Okay, and she took ropes and all that to bind him, and the rope was really long. All right, so anybody could tie him up, but then she was failing. Every time she attempted, she was failing. Every time she attempted, she was failing. So why? Because always, every time she went, the rope was 2 inches short. Okay, in length. She joined all the other ropes remaining at in her house, and she joined it with the main rope, and again tried tying him up. Still, the rope was 2 inches short. All right. Then she understood. Okay, that it's something fishy here. What's happening? Something magical is happening. Please bear with the cracker sound outside. All right. So she was like, something magical happening. Why is it not happening? Okay. And then ultimately, what she says, Krishna, out of love only, I think people can bind you. Nobody can bind you with the rope. And she actually surrenders herself to him and says, as you wish. If you want to get bound, you can. Otherwise, I can only ask you to. I can only pray to you. I can only request you. And she surrenders herself to him. That's when she will be able to bind him, right? The rope will be enough, more than enough to bind him up. All of a sudden, it's going to be more than enough to bind him up. So it's not the rope that actually bound him. What bound him? What bound him? Anybody? Was it the rope? You can put your answers in the chat also. Yes, Gauri Mataji?
It's love that bound him.
It's love that bound him, exactly. Hari bol. Yeah, so we can capture Krishna only and only through our love and devotion, not through rope, not through our endeavor, not through anything. Okay, so the 2 inches represent, anybody know what the 2 inches represent? The rope was 2 inches short all the time, right? What does it represent? Nobody knows? Yeah, so 1 inch is our personal endeavor. So she tried hard, right? So that striving is is what 1 inch represents. The other inch represents Krishna Kripa, Krishna's mercy. How much ever our endeavor is, doesn't matter. The end of the day, if there is no Krishna Kripa, if Krishna is not showering mercy upon us, our endeavors are not going to become fruitful at all. So we need to pray at the end of the day to asking him for his mercy. Otherwise, none of our proceedings will become fruitful. All right. So our spiritual endeavors, for specifically, everybody sit to chant. How many of us focus and chant? How many of us, really literally chant? We have our japamala in our hands, but then our mind is wandering around, right? We sit in our rooms and chant, but then we will be thinking about office. We'll be thinking about kitchen. We'll be thinking about, where to go out, what to cook, what to do. Everything else comes in our mind, like, apart from chanting. So our endeavor is really important. But for our chanting efforts to get fulfilled, Krishna Kripa is very important. And all our life, our goal of life is to see Krishna Prema, Krishna's mercy, so that we can get Krishna Prema. Okay, and once we get Krishna Prem, we reach Krishna. Like, we see Krishna face to face, and he takes us back home, back to Godhead, back to Goloka Vrindavan. That is the main goal of our life. Alright, so that is in short Damodar Leela. And so we specifically meditate upon this Leela in this month, Kartik month, and we offer ghee lamp to Krishna. Okay, and hope you're all doing. If you're not doing it, kindly start from today. Now also you can do it. Okay. So usually, preferably it's after sunset, but before sunset, sunrise also is advisable. Okay, like morning, Brahma Muhurtam. Okay, and even in the mornings you can do. In case you don't have time in the evening, you can do it in the morning. You can do it in the afternoon also, but do it. Okay, without fail, just take a ghee lamp and then just offer it. Aarti. You need to do aarti to the Damodar, Yashoda Damodar photograph if you have. Otherwise, normal Bal Krishna or any Krishna picture that you have. Okay, that's all you have to do. It's very simple. Do it and chant more. Okay, take a vow. If you whatever rounds you're chanting, say you're chanting 4 rounds now, chant 5 rounds. Okay, take a vow and increase your rounds, at least 1 round extra. Okay, if you're already doing 16 rounds, aim high, 20 rounds, 21 rounds. Okay, so 16 is the minimum number of rounds we need to chant. So always aim higher. And this month supports. And by the way, the specialty of this month is whatever you do gets multiplied by 99. So it's like buy 1, get 99 free. If you chant 1 round, it's equivalent to 100 rounds. Alright, whatever activity you do, it gets multiplied. Okay, so you get 100 times more benefit. So 100 times our sins will be burnt. So can you imagine than the normal days? So that's the specialty, or that's the grace of this month. So make use of it. It's till November 27th. Okay, so this is the Ashtakam we sing, Damodar Ashtakam, while offering the Aarti or any part of the day. Please keep singing this Ashtakam. It's very, very dear to the Lord. If you sing during Damodar month, it's very, very dear to the Lord. Okay, we'll begin with this. नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपम् लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले भ्रजमानम् यशोदादियो लोकानाथमानम् परां दृष्टमत्यन्तातो धृत्य गोप्या रुदन्तं मुहुर्निद्रायुगं मृजन्तम् कराम्भोजयुग्मेन शातकर्णिकम् मुहोश्वासकं पात्रीकाङ्ककाण्ठा स्थिताग्रैव दामोदरं भक्तिभाजम् इति वृत्तलीलाभिरानन्दकुण्डे स्वघोषं निमज्जन्तं मख्यापयन्तम् तदीशिताग्नेषु भक्तैर्जितात्वम् पुनः प्रेमतस्तं शतावृत्तिवन्दे वरं देवमोक्षं नाम्नावरं वा न चन्यं मृत्युं वरिषदपेह इदं देवपुरमागोपालबालम् सदा मे मनस्यावीरसां किमन्यत् इदं ते मुखाम्बोजन्मत्यन्तलीनं घृतं कुन्तलैः स्निग्धारक्तैश्च गोप्या मुहुश्चुम्बितं बिम्बारक्तादान्ये मनस्याविरस्तं नलं लक्षलाभै नमो देवदामोदर अनन्तविष्णु प्रसीद प्रभो दुःखजलाब्धिमध्यम् कृपादृष्टिवृष्ट्यातिदिनं बतानु गृहाणेशमामह्यं यदि यक्षिदृश्या कुबेरात्मजो भद्रामूर्त्यैव यद्वत् त्वया मोचितौ भक्तिभाजौ कृतौ च तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वाखं मे प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मेऽस्ति दामोदरेह नमस्ते स्तुतामि स्फुरदीप्तिदाम्ने त्वदीयोदराय विश्वस्य दाम्ने नमो राधिकायै त्वदीयाप्रियायै नमो अनन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यम् हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Okay, translation. So to the Supreme Lord, whose form is the embodiment of eternal existence, knowledge and bliss, whose shark-shaped earrings are swinging to and fro, who is beautifully shining in the divine realm of Gokula, who, due to the offense of breaking the pot of yogurt that his mother was churning into butter and then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from a swing, is quickly running from the wooden grinding mortar in fear of Mother Yashoda, but who has been caught from behind by her, who ran after him with greater speed. To that Supreme Lord, Sri Damodara, I offer my humble obeisances. Seeing the whipping stick in his mother's hand, he is crying and rubbing his eyes again and again with two lotus hands. His eyes are filled with fear, and the necklace of pearls around his neck, which is marked with three lines like a conch shell, is shaking because of his quick breathing due to crying. To this Supreme Lord Sri Damodara, whose belly is bound not with the ropes, but with the mother's pure love, I offer my humble obeisances. By such childhood pastimes as this, he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy and is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that he is only conquered by devotees whose pure love is imbued with intimacy and is free from all conceptions of awe and reverence. With great love, I again offer my obeisances to Lord Damodara hundreds and hundreds of times. O Lord, although you are able to give all kinds of benedictions, I do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon which may be obtained by executing the nine processes of bhakti.
O Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours as Bal Gopal in Vrindavan may ever be manifest in my heart. For what is the use to me of any other boon besides this? I will see this is supposed to be our prayers, not going to Krishna and saying, "Give me that, give me this." No, this is supposed to be our prayers. O Lord, your lotus face, which is encircled by locks of soft black hair tinged with red, is kissed again and again by Mother Yashoda, and your lips are reddish like the bimba fruit. May this beautiful vision of your lotus face be ever manifest in my heart. Thousands and thousands of other benedictions are of no avail. O Supreme Godhead, I offer my obeisances unto you. O Damodara, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O my Lord, be pleased upon me. By showering your glance of mercy upon me, deliver this poor ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and became invisible to my eyes. O Lord Damodara, just as two sons of Kuvera, Manigriva and Nalakuvara, were delivered from the curse of Nanda and made into great devotees by you in your form as the baby tied with rope to a wooden mortar. In the same way, please give to me your own prema bhakti. I only long for this and have no desire for any kind of liberation. Like I said, the highest goal of life is just Krishna prem, love for Krishna. Right now, we have no love for Krishna, right? We need to long for that. We need to pray for that. Our only goal and our only reason why we are alive is to learn how to love Krishna. That is supposed to be the agenda for life. Nothing else. Nothing else matters, right? Because the janma that we've got, it's sudurlabha, right? It's very, very rare. After 84 lakh species, you travels, and finally you get human form of life. And only in human form of life, you'll understand what is bhakti, what is Krishna, what is love, what is anything and everything, right? And when you got it, make this an opportunity. Okay. Oh Lord Damodara, I first of all offer my obeisances to the brilliantly effulgent robe which binds your belly. I then offer my obeisances to your belly, which is the abode of the entire universe. I humbly bow down to your most beloved Shri Radharani, and I offer all obeisances to you, the Supreme Lord who displays unlimited constance. It's beautiful. Okay. So after he gets bound, after Yashoda Mata binds him up, what does he do? He goes along with the grinding mortar. He crawls and goes into the garden nearby. And there are two long, very tall trees, Arjuna trees. They are called twin Arjuna trees. And he goes and, uproots both the trees. When he uproots both the trees, from the each of the trees, two people, one person comes out. Okay, that is Manigriva and Nalakuvara. They are sons of Kubera. Kubera is the treasurer of demigods, right? He resides in the heavenly planets. So his sons were actually cursed, and they were cursed. That's why they got that tree form. Now Krishna has come and delivered them. They offer their obeisances to him. They were waiting for so many years to get delivered. They were meditating upon Krishna, they were craving to see the Lord and, go back home, back to Godhead. Finally, they got their forms back. They were delivered. So Krishna is very merciful, his glories have no limit. Even Ananta Shesha has thousands of hoods and thousands of tongues, no, to glorify Lord. And he says it's still, there's a lot of glorification still pending. Thousands of tongues, thousands of mouths are not enough. And it's unlimited. His glories are unlimited. I'm finding no end. With thousands of heads and hoods and tongue, he is not finding limit. What about us? We don't even know anything about Krishna, right? It's amazing. Krishna consciousness, that's why Prabhupada says it's a science. Okay, so let's begin. So today is just an orientation session on what is Sadachar all about? What are we going to be learning? So our Sadachar course, first and foremost, is divided into 3 modules. As of now, it's 3 modules, okay? More modules might get added. I'm not sure about it. As of now, it's 3 modules. And duration of each module, it's minimum of at least 16 weeks, we can say, okay? Minimum of 16 weeks. And at the end of each module, you'll be given certificates based on the attendance. So from next class, when we start our regular classes, So the co-host for our course is Giridhar Gopal Prabhuji, as you see. So he will be posting our attendance link in the chat, okay, in the Zoom chat itself. Just click on the link, fill the form, submit. Okay, so your attendance will be recorded. Based on your attendance, a minimum of 65 to 70% of attendance is needed. Based on your attendance, you'll be given your certificates, okay, after the module completion. And then you'll begin with the next module. That's the plan. All right. So basically, Sadachar. Who can tell me what is Sadachar? Anybody? What is Sadachar? No one knows? Sad Achar. Simple. Sad plus Achar.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
Janardhan.
Basically, I think I am also new to this particular sessions, but what I understand is that it is basically how you have to, what do you say, go forward in knowing the culture, etiquettes, and also the Vaishnava sampradayas, so that
Yes.
you'll fall in line and also try to understand the Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam or Chaitanya Charitam in a very spiritual way. If this is not
Haribol,
there,
yes.
if this is not there, understanding those scriptures is more difficult, and you are not able to connect it in a proper way. If you want to connect these historical or what do you say, either Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, I think knowing this culture is a prerequisite, and we are
So,
we
yeah.
are learning this in the right time. In fact, I personally believe that this should go hand in hand, along with the studies of other sessions.
Yeah, Haribol, very nice. Thank you. Thank you for your input. So, as Prabhuji said, yes, for practical implementation of the Shastras or whatever we learn in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, we need a systematic framework, right? How do we apply? Yeah, Krishna says, Man manabhava madbhas. So, always think of me and become my devotee. How? How do we do it? Right? So many questions without answers. So, all the answers are lying here in Sadachar. So, Sad Achar. Sad is good. Achar is practice. Putting into practice. What kind of practice? Good. Anything which involves Krishna is called good. Anything which is not connected with Krishna is bad. This is what one thing we need to be very, very clear. Okay? The definition of good means anything with Krishna. Anything which is not related to Krishna is bad. However good it is, according to the materialist, it is still considered bad. So Sad Achar means Vaishnava etiquette, Vaishnava practices, Krishna consciousness practice. How do we put it in practice? Okay, that is the main thing, right? But all of us know the philosophy. We all attended Gita 18, right? The basics of Bhagavad Gita, all of us know. A lot of us. You need to chant, you need to do that, you need to do this, Krishna said this, Krishna said that. Yes, how are we going to implement it, right? So that is ultimately very, very important, and for that Sadachar is the foundation. Okay, so principles and application of Vaishnava culture. And culture is something you need to imbibe, right? You need to, it is what is culture? Culture is you grow, say you grow a flower, horticulture, right? You grow it, you nourish it, you nourish the seed level sapling, and then it grows, and then flowers are born, and then all that, right? So you nurture it. So culture is something like that. This Vaishnava etiquette or bhakti, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu beautifully compares it to a creeper. Bhakti is a bhakti creeper. Okay, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Beej. So Bhakti Lata. Lata is creeper, Bhakti is devotion, and it's Beej. It's in the form of seed. And who sows that seed into your heart? It's Guru Krishna Prasade. So Guru and Krishna's mercy will sow the seed into your heart, and you got to cultivate it. Okay, so for cultivating you need water, right? Watering process has to be there, fertilizers need to be there, weeds need to be uprooted. Only then the plant will grow well, right? And that creeper will grow. Finally it flowers will come, and then fruits will come, and then that fruit will reach Krishna in Goloka. So that creeper has to pierce through the material world and then reach Goloka, spiritual world, right? So that creeper has to be very strong. The roots have to be very strong. That is culture, Vaishnava culture. Okay, and that is what we are going to be learning here. Okay, so this is very simple. The term culture is derived from a Latin term called colere,
And so just now what we discussed, to tend earth and grow, to cultivate and nurture. So the way of life, especially the general customs and beliefs of a particular group of people. So how we can relate? To be a Roman in Rome, we all know this, right? And this ISKCON is a Bhagavata school. When we've come here not because we already know everything. We've come here to learn, right? We don't, lot of us, including me, I didn't even know Krishna was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I thought, okay, everybody is God. Ganesha is God, Shiva is God, Indra is God, Krishna is also one of them, I thought. Only after reading Bhagavad Gita, I understood, right? Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we don't know a lot of things. We come here to learn. So ISKCON is Bhagavata school. We come here to learn, right? And if you go and join a medical college, obviously you'll have to abide by all the rules and regulations that college has, right? If you don't, then they'll be like, okay, you go out of the college. You'll not get your degree, right? So here also same thing. To reach Krishna, we need guidance. Acharya's guidance, senior Vaishnava's guidance, people who are already practicing Krishna consciousness, their guidance, everything is needed. And we also need to learn the philosophy properly, right? In 18 days, obviously we will not learn everything in depth, right? So we need to learn the philosophy properly. And that is the key foundation for reaching Krishna, right? It's a beautiful framework. Actually, Sadhacar is a power-packed course, actually, if I have to say. You'll be learning about Dashavatar, Bhagavatam snippets in the beginning, and then you'll be learning about Acharyas, who practically implemented all the teachings of Bhagavad Gita and everything, who is going to become an inspiration in future. And then you'll be learning about prayers, how to offer prayers to the Lord. We don't even know how to offer prayers to the Lord, right? Systematically, we don't know, right? So all these things we will learn. How to dress up the Lord, how to behave in temples, what to do when we enter a temple, right? How to chant, how to behave with other Vaishnavas, how to cook prasadam, how to eat prasadam. We don't even eat, it's not eating prasadam, it's honoring prasadam, we say. Okay, so these things we don't know, basics. Basics. So all these things we learn in Bhakti Sadhacar. Initial few 6-7 classes will only be on basics. Okay. So Krishna says, right? We all know Man Manabhava Madbhakto Madhyajimam Namaskuru. He says. He again says the same thing. See, once he says in 9th chapter. 9th chapter he says Man Manabhava Madbhakto Madhyajimam Namaskuru. Second time in 18th chapter, again he says, Man Manabhava Madbhakto Madhyajimam Namaskuru. What does it mean? It is important. That's why he's repeating it. 2 times he's saying, right? Man Mana, always think of me. Madbhakto, become my devotee. Madhyajimam Namaskuru, worship me and pay obeisances to me. 4 things you need to do if you want to reach Krishna, alright? Man Mana, always think of Krishna, become my devotee, worship me and offer obeisances to me. These 4 things Krishna says, right? Very easy it seems, right? When you read the Bhagavad Gita, oh, that's all. These 4 things if we do, we will reach Krishna. Very easy, right? No, practically it's very difficult. Then Krishna says, if you are my devotee, you will have to show these 4 characteristics, Krishna says. What are those? Satatam kirtayanto mam, Krishna says, right? Satatam kirtayanto mam. Always keep, doing, glorifying me. Kirtan. Always keep glorifying me. Either you chant or either you talk about me to others. Krishna says, always. Glorifying, okay, fine, we might do. Always is important. Satatam, he says, not just kirtayanto mam. Right? And yatantasta dridavrata, Krishna says. That means you have to, with determination, go forward in bhakti. A lot of obstacles come. Right? We need to be very, very, determined to continue in our devotional service despite all the obstacles, right? And then namasyantascha mam bhaktya, you need to offer obeisances to him, bow down, offer pranam to him, right? And then worship me with devotion, Krishna says. These are the 4 characteristics of a devotee. If you show these 4 characteristics, other things might be there easy. Satatam kirtayantamam, always is very difficult, right? Always. We sleep. 8 hours, 7 hours goes only in sleeping. Where are you doing kirtan when you are sleeping? Right? So that is very, very important. Always remembering Krishna. Always remembering Krishna, never forgetting Krishna. That is the foundation or the essence of Vaishnava culture. The whole modules that you will be learning, the 3 modules as of now, is only based on this one foundation, one mantra, or never forget Krishna, always remember Krishna. Now I have a question. Always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna are same, right? Why are we telling it again and again, two times? It's the same thing. Always forget Krishna, always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Why are we repeating it? Who knows? Yeah, I got an answer in the chat. Good. Nobody knows? To answer in the you can unmute and answer if you know. No? Okay. So smartavyam satatam Vishnu vismartavyam na jatuchit. Okay, always remember Krishna. Smartavyam satatam, always. And vismartavyam na jatuchit. Never forget Krishna. Okay, it's very important. Why two times they've told it? Because when you do some spiritual activity, when you're chanting or when you're praying, when you're going to the temple or when you're reading the Gita or attending these sessions, you're remembering Krishna, right? You are. When you're chanting, you have to remember Krishna. So this is where this first principle comes into picture. Always remember Krishna. You might be chanting, but your mind might be wandering somewhere. You might be thinking something else, right? So there, this first principle comes into picture. Whenever you're doing any spiritual activity, you need to remember Krishna on purpose. Am I remembering Krishna? Am I doing it? Why are you chanting? To please the Lord, right? If you're forgetting Krishna and chanting, what is the point in chanting? Right? So this is where first principle comes into picture. Second principle, never forget Krishna. Never forget Krishna is where you're doing material activity, like you're doing your office work, your business or anything as such, right? In these cases, you should not forget Krishna, because there is no way you can, focus or keep your mind focused on some harikatha or chanting or anything if you're doing your office work or anything, right? Because that requires your brain. So that time, how you can not forget Krishna? This is that's why there are two principles. These look very similar. On a macro level, it looks similar, but micro level, they are very, very different. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. And how do you practically achieve this? This is what we are going to try to learn through Sadhacar course. Okay? And so conclusion is that one must act in such a way that he will always remember Krishna, and one must refrain from doing things that make him forget Krishna. Okay, so that's what I told you. When you do your office work or other things, when we get engaged in our outer world, material activities, do not forget Krishna. Do not do anything that takes you away from Krishna. For example, smoking. For example, drinking. When you get high, you will not lose. You will lose completely control over your senses, right? Then how will you practice austerity? How will you remember Krishna? You will not remember yourself only. Forget about Krishna, right? When you are high. So that's why intoxication is prohibited in ISKCON completely. Any kind of intoxication, even coffee, tea is not allowed. All right. So no smoking, nothing, and no gambling. Gambling also. When you invest in shares and all this, what do? You keep checking. Oh, what is the stock market now? Right now, what is the condition? What is the situation? Where is Krishna? You are so addicted to the stock market rise and fall and all that. And you are so addicted to that. Nobody will think about, you'll not even think about eating food, eating prasadam. You'll only be like, oh, I should eat now. It's okay, I'll eat later. This is more important, right? So that's why no gambling either. Any kind of gambling is not allowed in ISKCON. Okay? And then next is no illicit sex. Okay? Because women or opposite sex, when you get attracted, entire day you will be thinking only about that person. Okay, so that's why even that is not allowed. Okay, so these are very, very important. And no meat eating also. When you kill others, do you think Krishna will like it? Definitely not. And no way you can please Krishna by killing other animals or whatever it is, right? So that way, again, meat eating is also not allowed. So these are the 4 regulative principles, 4 pillars of bhakti. These are, okay, 4 pillars. If you want to pursue Krishna or Krishna consciousness, these 4 regulative principles are very, very, very important. Overnight things will not happen. Have patience. Yatantascha drida vrata, right? Krishna says. With determination and patience, we need to go forward, working together. Okay? That should be the goal of our life. And for Prabhupada, it was quite simple because he was already born in a Vaishnava family. Okay, both his parents were Vaishnavas, they were Brahmanas, and so obviously no meat eating at home, no illicit sex or no gambling or no intoxication at all. Okay, so all the regulative principles he started following right from his birth, subconsciously. Okay, so things were very easy for him, right? But for us, it's a little difficult. We have all sorts of bad habits, right? To come out of it, it takes time, but it's not impossible. It's not impossible. It is definitely possible, but it's not easy. Okay, a lot of determination is needed, and for that you need to chant more and more, better and better you chant, more and more you chant, more and more you chant in a quality manner. What happens? Krishna cleanses your heart, and more the heart is cleansed, more and more detached we get to these things, these bad habits that we have. Okay, so this way what happens? We become qualified to enter into the cult, Bhakti cult. Okay, so what are we going to cover in the basics? First thing, principles, formal venues. Principles is what we are covering now, the 4 regulative venues. Then the formal venues, when you visit where satsang or temples or anything where Krishna conscious activity happens, how do you behave? What do you do? First of all, when you enter the temple, what should you do? Nobody knows. You need to offer pranam. How to offer pranam? Nobody knows. So these things, in a scientific way, systematic way, we will be learning. Okay. Next, cleanliness. Vaishnava cleanliness. Physical cleanliness, mental cleanliness, spiritual cleanliness. It's too deep to cover. Okay. So all these things we will be learning. Then prasad seva. How to offer prasadam, how to eat prasadam, how to cook prasadam. Okay. Everything. Then Vaishnava dress. How do we present ourselves? Okay, as preachers and as devotees, how do we present ourselves? And then formal association. Devotee, Krishna consciousness is all about devotee association, right? So, you need to talk to people, talk to devotees. You need to cut your material friends and everything, start reducing. Okay, because again, our consciousness will be disturbed, our sattva guna will be disturbed, and maybe focusing on chanting will become difficult. So, slowly reduce. Okay, then and instead of that, transfer all your friendship and association to devotees. So what happens? You'll have your nice intimate devotee circle. We can help each other and grow together. Okay, that's the ultimate aim, right? So all these things we'll be learning in the basics, first 6 to 7 classes. Then we will be beginning with our module, first module. Okay. So yeah, so classroom norms. When you attend Sadachar class, what are you supposed to do? Always raise your hand and answer if you know the answer, or directly unmute and answer. Okay, and please attend, maintain your regulations. I mean attendance regulations also. Okay, because minimum of 70% is needed, right? And so please do attend. Do not depend only on the recordings. And recordings is only for revision. Okay, attend and learn, and that also shows your commitment towards Krishna. No, Paramatma inside your heart is witnessing everything you do. So when you attend the class, oh, my class is starting, it's 7 o'clock. Wherever you are, you start attending, right? So that shows your dedication and commitment. So Krishna will see, oh yeah, this person is serious, and then he will send you, he will show you the path forward, right? So these are very small things, but makes a huge difference. Okay, and yeah, so Prabhupada gives an example, right? If you are in an educational institute, won't you follow the rules and regulations? Definitely you will, right? So if you don't surrender yourself to the rules and regulations and say, oh, no, I will not attend classes, I will sit and study, the teacher will be like, no attendance, no exam hall ticket for you, right? So you need to follow the rules and regulations, and that's very important, first thing. So attendance is compulsory. Then you can listen to the recordings and revise, so that next class you will come prepared. Okay, and you'll not lose the connect. And then everywhere, wherever you want to receive something, you have to be controlled, or you have to be surrendered to rules and regulations. If you do not follow the rules and regulations of this class, it is not possible to receive the knowledge. So Prabhupada is saying all this. These are all snippets taken from Prabhupada's lectures, letters and all that. Okay. So just like these European and American students, sometimes they cannot adopt the principles of Sadachar as it is recommended. But that does not mean that doesn't matter, because they have devoted, they have sacrificed their life for Krishna. They are sadhu. They should be given the respect of a sadhu because they have no other business than Krishna. So anybody who has dedicated their life, they fall above this caste and creed and religion and gender and everything, because they've dedicated their life to Krishna Seva. That's why it is Dasa or Dasi, no? After you get initiated, the name is Dasa or Dasi. Dasi means what? We've surrendered ourselves to serve. We are servants eternally. We are servants of our Guru Maharaj, and who is going to connect us to Krishna, right? So never offend them. They might not be good in so many things, okay, but they've dedicated their life to Krishna's service, right? Ultimately, all of us are here to serve the Lord only, right? So we need to cooperate. Bhishma Dev. Okay. So now first thing, we are talking about rules and regulations, right? But first thing is very important. We need to know the time and place. We need to consider time and place for the application of rules and regulations. For example, Bhishma was sitting, was on the deathbed, right? So he was on the deathbed, and what did he do when all these, Atithi Satkar, there is a proper way to do Atithi Satkar, right? You need to invite them to your house, you need to give them something to eat, or if there's nothing, you need to give at least water. You cannot send them just like that. You need to talk to them. All this is there. When Bhishma was lying on the deathbed of arrows, will he be able to do all this? Will he be able to invite them and give them water and etc., etc.? No, right? So you need to know how and where to apply the rules and regulations depending on the circumstances. Okay, this is Kali Yuga. Krishna himself has fine-tuned the rules, right? For Dwapar Yuga, it was temple worship. For Satya Yuga, you have to go to the forest and meditate. But for Kali Yuga, it's very simple. Sit and chant, Krishna says. Right? So fine-tuning of rules and regulations, we need to know according to the place and time. Okay? So what did Bhishma Dev do? He called everybody who had come to see him when he was dying. He spoke to them, with loving words. He greeted them and welcome, right, and instructed them, right? Even Krishna was there. So you need to know where to apply, how to apply the rules and regulations. Time and place matters. Okay, so expert religionists know perfectly when to adjust the religious principles. We were saying stay away from alcohol and all that. Prabhupada stayed with hippies, drug addicts, shared his room with drug addicts. Why? Intention matters. Okay, intention matters. So why? What did Prabhupada wanted to do? He wanted to convert these drug addicts, hippies into devotees. So intention matters, right? And Bhakti Sadhacar Saraswati, Prabhupada's guru, said chant 64 rounds every day. But Prabhupada brought it down to 16 rounds because with office work and all that, it was impossible for all those Americans to chant 64 rounds a day. It takes 8 hours. So Prabhupada was like, no need, you just chant 2 hours. 16 rounds will be completed in 2 hours a day. So he brought it down, right? So intention matters. Okay, only intentions matter. Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardana, right? So so you need to know when to do what. Okay, even climatic conditions, everything matters, right? If one has to discharge his duties to preach the message of the Lord, he must be expert in adjusting things in terms of time and place. Okay, and yeah, you need to consider time, country, convenience, everything. And yeah, okay, as we were talking, and the fact is that such critics cannot do anything personally to spread Krishna consciousness. If someone does go and preach, taking all risks and following all the considerations of time and place, it might be that there are changes in the manner of worship, but that is not at all faulty according to Shastra. As I told you, intention ultimately. Okay, so now it is Niyamagraha. There are 2 things to consider. We are learning about rules and regulations, but 2 things we need to consider. Do not become too attached to rules. That is called Niyamagraha. Okay, do not become too attached to the rules and regulations at the cost of preaching or anything. Like for example, Ekadashi. It's recommended for all of us to do Nirjal Ekadashi. But if you're not able to even stand and walk because you're on nirjal without even water, you're fasting without water, and you're not able to stand, you're not able to sit, you're not able to chant, what is the purpose of doing nirjal, right? So you can drink water, eat fruits, eat sabudana also, eat 3 times sabudana per day, and chant. Ekadashi is a day where you need to do more service. If you're chanting 16 rounds, chant 32 rounds on Ekadashi. If you're chanting 1 round, chant 4 rounds on Ekadashi. If you're reading 1 page Bhagavad Gita, read 4 pages on Ekadashi, because where you multiply your service. Do not fast, eat sabudana, that is allowed. Okay, eat lots of sabudana and do your service, right? So that is getting too attached to the rules. Okay, not at the cost of your devotional service. Agraha is rejecting the rules and regulations. I am not going to follow, I don't care. So that is very wrong. Okay, so you need to understand when to do what to follow when. You need to flexibly arrange. Okay, fine tune it. So both are wrong. Getting too attached to rules is also wrong. Rejecting the rules completely, saying I'm not going to do it, is also wrong. These are the two things we need to understand. Niyama is rules. Agraha is too attached, eagerness to accept. Agraha is failing to accept. Okay, neglecting the rules and regulations. Yeah. Yeah. So this is what is we just discussed, right? Being liberal and conservative. You need to understand. Even Prabhupada, for that matter, when he was traveling to America in a ship, there was one common refrigerator where people used to store non-veg food also. Prabhupada used to store veg food. People used to store non-veg food in the same refrigerator. Did he say, no, there's non-veg, I'm not going to store my food? What is he going to do? What is he going to eat, right? He needs to survive till he reaches America. He needs to survive. He needs prasadam. So he did store, next to the non-veg food, he did store veg food. He offered it to Krishna and he had it as prasadam, right? So you need to know, you need to cleverly, smartly analyze and then follow the rules and regulations. Okay? And then it is a characteristic of a devotee to observe and protect the Vaishnava etiquette. Maintenance of the Vaishnava etiquette is the ornament of a devotee. Do you understand? Vaishnava etiquette, Prabhupada is saying it's an ornament of a devotee, right? It's given in the purport. And if one transgresses the laws of etiquette, people make fun of him, and thus is vanquished in both this world and the next. By observing the etiquette, you have satisfied my mind. So this is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Alright, so Vaishnava etiquette is very, very important. It's an ornament of a devotee, right? We are all here to become devotees, right? We are not devotees, we are to be devotees, okay? We are all here to become a devotee. So if you want to call yourself a devotee, you will have to follow certain rules and regulations, okay? So that's why here it is said, Vaishnava etiquette is an ornament of a devotee. Very, very important. Okay? So aim of the course we already learned. Never forget Krishna, always remember Krishna. Right? And putting it into a practice as well. Yadyat achariti shreshta. Why do we have to put it into practice? Others will see you and follow. Your children, your parents also, for that matter. Okay, anybody at home, your friends, whatever you do, a lot of people observe, right? When you say I am Krishna conscious, I want to become devotee and all, they will start observing you more. What is this person doing so special ki he is becoming a devotee, right? So people observe, and some people criticize, some people adopt. So you need to become a leader, set an example. Yadyat achariti shreshta sattat eva taro janaha, right? They follow you. Whatever leaders do, others follow, right? So when we follow rules and regulations and smartly apply them properly, what happens? We become ideal people, and we uplift others also who are inspired or who are attracted to Krishna consciousness. They will also join the movement and they will also become devotees. So you're delivering a soul to Krishna, right? What pleasure is that? You're delivering a soul to Krishna. You're at least bringing a person connecting to ISKCON, and ISKCON will take him forward, right? It's very important. Think on a broader level. So therefore, we are endeavoring to create some ideal men, Krishna conscious men, their character, their behavior, their ideal aim of life. So those who have taken to Krishna consciousness seriously, they should be ideal men. The society will be benefited at least by seeing their behavior. Okay, very important. We got to set an example. Nobody should point out, because when they point towards devotees, they're actually pointing towards Krishna. Okay, that's why. And this Krishna consciousness movement through it, and it, of course, it's very simple. You know what Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj says. It's very simple. Krishna consciousness is very simple. What is it? It's just it's chanting, doing kirtan, singing bhajans, right? And then reading Bhagavad Gita and everything, hearing the lectures, right? It's so simple. And then if you're bored, you can paint, you can draw Krishna, right? And then you can cook for Krishna, right? And then if you're if you're hungry, you eat prasadam, nice, tasty prasadam, right? Again, you're bored, you can do something else. You can dance in kirtan, you can sing and dance in kirtan, you can involve people as well. And then if you're tired, you sleep. Right? So that's all is Krishna consciousness. Always doing things for the pleasure of the Lord, and in turn you will get highest amount of pleasure. Whatever amount of pleasure Krishna gets, your pleasure is multiplied. Okay, by giving pleasure to the Lord, whatever you give to the Lord, it comes back to you multiplied manifold. Right? So Krishna consciousness movement through music, philosophy, spiritual culture, and personal behavior, culminating in an ideal character of the devotees. All these heavenly contributions combined together will certainly bring about a major change in the life of Western people. This is about Western people because Prabhupada addressed the Westerners first, right? Indians never accepted Krishna consciousness in the beginning. So he went there, and when they started accepting, all the Indians also started accepting because of this westernization and globalization. Okay, Srila Prabhupada taught from A to Z about Vaishnava etiquette to the Westerners. They did not even know how to drape dhoti and sari. Okay, they did not even know how to cook food which Krishna wants. What is that? Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Right? Leaves, grains, flowers, and fruits, vegetables. They did not know how to cook these things. They knew only how to cook meat. So Prabhupada had to explain, teach them everything from the ground level, from the scratch. Alright, so Prabhupada did teach them kirtan, how to do kirtan, how to play musical instruments, how to dress the deities, how everything A to Z Prabhupada had to teach them. We are not at that level. We know some things we know as Indians, right? So when we know certain things, why are we not taking it forward? It's important, right? So even to make japamalas during initiation, everything I taught. Okay, so you can see here how to read Sanskrit, how to write, what to do, what not to do, everything literally. So yeah. Also, so this is the end of the PPT. I would end the class with a small short story. Okay, so before we go to the story, I just want to ask you all a few questions. Okay, very simple questions. When we say Prabhupada, what comes to your mind? Yes, Janardhan Prabhuji.
Prabhupada, the way he led this life, it shows that he is kind of person who we can say saint, because his journey from childhood to till the end is an inspiration to all of us. So
Yeah,
nobody,
Haribol.
I feel when I see his, when I read his, what do you say, life journey, going to US at the age of 16 or 70 and opening so many temples, writing so many books, translating the message of Sri Krishna, Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam or Chaitanya Charitamrita in a such a way that people can understand easily. The language which is used is simple English. Even if somebody wants to point out any mistake, he cannot find out whether in this English or some other, because he might have written in Bangla, but if you read his English scriptures, it is so clarity is there. There is nothing which is what you can say that which is something superfluous, nor something which is everything comes in the form of what is there is a need. So in fact we cannot describe in few words. And I know little because I associated with ISKCON recently. But I was
Yeah.
reading here and there in the Bhagavata class, even Bhagavad class also, our teachers, they used to share his journey, his life stories. But it is inspiration, totally it is inspiration. Only thing is people should be aware of that. And when I was small, I read about Sri Prabhupada. But
Hmm.
at that time, we never had a chance to go in depth, because even if you ask me, ISKCON also
Hmm.
had a different picture where before coming to this direct association. My
Hmm.
association with ISKCON is only 1.5 months. And before
Okay.
that, I used to visit, I used to there in Ahmedabad, Bangalore and all. So we have a local sightseeing. ISKCON temple is the first site where I used to visit first in the morning, see that temple, move on. So for a
Hmm.
person like me, ISKCON is a temple. It is nothing beyond that. But it is the first time I'm hearing and also learning the behind the scene is so vast. The temple is only a part of that.
Exactly.
Temple is
Yeah.
only
It's the face.
front
Temple
end
is the
face.
face,
It's a
and
face,
is
and beyond
yeah.
it is a Vaishnava culture, whatever you say. And secondly, what I will take 1 or 2 minutes. In fact,
Hmm.
Sadachar is a course which you should be mandatory to all who study, whether it is Bhagavatam or your Charitamrita or Bhagavad Gita, because
Hmm.
see, Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, it is a theory part. It only gives the knowledge.
Yeah.
For example, if you ask me, if somebody is inducted to a particular organization in the beginning, they'll be given a classroom training. They'll be given the knowledge part, classroom training, knowledge. But
Yeah.
how to implement that? They have to go to the field. So we have two systems of training. One is classroom training, another is on the job. So once they complete classroom training, they will be sent to on the job. That is field. How to put the knowledge into practice, skill development. The skill development of
Haribol.
devotee, in fact, the skill development, what is required as devotee, it is prepared by Sadachar class. And as you rightly point out, it is an ongoing exercise. There is no end because Sadachar never ends. ISKCON may
Yes,
be doing
Prabhu.
some innovations. There is some good practices in other temples or local here. You have a lot of devotees are there, how they perform, how they do that. It is all put together. It is Sadachar. In fact, it is a platform. It is a foundation. Sadachar is a foundation on the base of which knowledge is imparted. Sadachar should
Hmm.
come first. Knowledge should come next. But we know that if you start with Sadachar, nobody will come. So,
Yeah.
you're saying that 18 days Bhagavad Gita class is there, come and attend. But once it is attended, how to prepare the devotee, that is Sadachar.
Hmm.
So, Sadachar is nothing like even curriculum also, it can be a framework, broader framework, but it only depends how we put our knowledge into practice. So whether it is chanting, how to do the chanting, how to use the Japamala, how to dress ourselves, how to behave. For example, greeting. For example, Hare Krishna, greeting, it is something for the ISKCON etiquettes. But how to do that? Why is somebody is called Prabhuji? Why is somebody is called
Hmm.
Mataji? So these things starts as a part of etiquettes. So this is an ongoing process, and it only creates the context of a devotee. You are putting a context or framework so that the person will be able to go to Krishna's place or do the devotional service in a better way and effective way. That is what.
Haribol. Very nice. I think we need to take this forward. What you're saying, I will talk to the senior devotees there. It's the angle that you've given is very new, Janardhan Prabhuji. It's mandatory. You're saying, yeah, actually thinking about it that way, it's actually practically right. Okay, Haribol, thank you so much.
For
And so
example, Mataji.
Mangalachan,
For
yeah.
example, Mataji, what happens? No, Bhagavad Gita
Hmm.
teaches so many things of Lord Krishna. But if you
Hmm.
want to at least put 10% of the things into practice, Sadachar
Yeah,
program is the best platform.
yeah, right.
Without Sadachar, you cannot tell the people you do the chanting 16 rounds, 1 round, or what. See, unless they should understand why chanting should be required and how we
Hmm.
can pay attention. That's Shavanam and
Kirtanam.
Kirtanam. So you should say that it should be chanted loudly so that you can hear. So those things are stressed as a part of
Hmm.
Sadachar. Because in a regular knowledge part, you don't have the time.
Yeah,
Bhagavad
it's
Gita ko 18
curriculum.
days, 18 chapters. It is all tightly packed. So in those sessions, they don't have time. But how to build up that platform? It is Sadachar. Okay.
Very good. Yes. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Yeah, so also when you sit to read Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita or anything for that matter, any devotional service, always recite Mangalacharan. Okay, always recite Mangalacharan. All the shlokas, everything will be shared with you in the group. Okay, one big shloka document will be shared with you. All the shlokas will be there. So start learning. We will be learning also in the class. Also, we will be learning. These practices are something that we got to inculcate from now itself. Okay, do not wait and use the beats to chant all the time. Do not chant with your counter. Counter is allowed, but then beats is the actual flavor you get when you take your japa bag and when you put your hands inside, take the beats, feel the tulsi effect or neem effect or whatever, and then you chant. It's really nice and you enjoy. When you enjoy what happens, you put your mind and heart into it. And when you put your mind and heart into it, your chanting becomes effective, right? And read Srimad Bhagavatam, read some scripture, at least your Bhagavad Gita, okay? Keep reading, that's very important. Or start with these small books, perfect answer, perfect questions, perfect answers, and Prahlad's teachings, matchless gift. These are all small books you can read. No, these are all pocket books, small. Right? You can cover them in like 2 hours, 3 hours. You can cover them. When you're traveling, you can read Elevation to Krishna Consciousness. Coming back, the Science of Reincarnation. These books you can keep reading. Okay, make it a habit to to read. When you read these books, you automatically get tempted to read those big scriptures, Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita and Bhagavad Gita and all of that. So you start small and you reach high, right? That is the idea. And always join these Bhakti Vriksha groups that we have, online reading groups. So many groups are there where devotees come together and they read something. Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, Srimad Bhagavatam, right? They just keep reading. So you read in a group. So what happens? You can clarify your doubts then and there and you can discuss. They read purport, one purport they read and they start discussing on the purport. So you will not miss out on things and it will be interactive. You'll get focused, you'll get motivated. If you sit and read at home, you read this long purports and you'll sleep, right? In the beginning, that's what happens. And sometimes it goes above our head and you'll be like, what is all this? So read in association with devotees. Get in touch with Giridhar Gopal Prabhuji. He will inform you about these reading groups that we have, multiple groups. Join them at your convenient time and start reading. And try to offer prasadam, as in offer bhog and consume prasadam as much as possible. Okay, if you have nothing at home, offer fruit, dry fruits, some cashew nuts will do, water, milk will do, water will do. Okay, just take a tulsi leaf, put it on top of that, offer, and then you have as prasadam. Okay, mix it in your water bottle if it's water, and give others also who come home, give prasadam water. Okay, so these things, when you give water, when you give prasadam, Krishna prasadam means you are giving Krishna bhakti to people. Remember that. Krishna prasadam is not simply food. Krishna prasadam means Krishna bhakti. We will be learning all this in detail when we do prasad seva. Okay. Yeah. So too much for orientation, I believe. So I just wanted to share a small story. If you are all okay with it, then only. Fine. I'll take 5 minutes because Govardhan Puja is coming. Okay. It's on Tuesday. Govardhan Leela happened. No? Anybody knows what is Govardhan Leela? Nobody knows? Okay, so what happened? Krishna was a young little boy, so that time it happened in Vrindavan. So what happened? It happens during Diwali only. It's on Tuesday. It's happening. Okay, it's a huge feast. If you have any ISKCON temple nearby, any ISKCON center nearby, please do visit. Okay, it either happens in the evening or in the morning, depending upon your centers. Huge feast will be there. Just go. Huge kirtan will be there. Krishna Katha will be there. Okay, just go and enjoy. Okay, it's a day of celebration. So what happened? Indra Puja. All the Vrindavan residents those days were doing Indra Puja. Okay, because they thought, okay, Indra is the one sending rains to us. Because of rains only crops are growing. So Indra Puja is very important. Once in a year we have to respect Indra. So that time what happened? They were making arrangements and Krishna comes in and says, why are you doing Indra Puja? He is just sending rains. He is pouring rains on mountains also. He is pouring rains in oceans also. Right? He is just pouring rains.
Rains only when they fall on a proper fertile soil, ground and all, crops grow. His rains are even in the ocean. What crops grow in ocean? His rains are even on mountains. Water just rains down, right? So that is not important. Fertile land is important. That is on Govardhan Hill, right? Govardhan Hill is supplying us with food. The pastures, the thick green grass that is growing there, cows are going and feeding on that, and then they give milk, and that's how the survival is happening here in Vrindavan. So our respect is supposed to be towards Govardhan Hill, not to Indra. So he comes and deviates. So all of them then think, oh right, what Krishna is saying is right. Why are we going and worshipping Indra? We have to worship Govardhan Hill, right? So now they change their plan and they start going and worshipping the Govardhan Hill. Indra becomes very angry. So Indra is like, every year they offer me respects, offer me worship. What is this? Suddenly, who the hell is this little guy coming and saying, stop worshipping me and all that. So he gets very angry and he goes, and when all the residents of Vrindavan are worshipping Govardhan, he goes and sends rain, torrents and torrents of rain. Okay, he's the rain god, right? So he sends Samavartaka. He is the owner of so many clouds. So many clouds listen to him. One such cloud is Samavartaka. Samavartaka is the cloud of devastation. Heavy rains, okay, it pours. So Indra says, okay, you go and pour there. So it goes and pours. All of them get scared because it's flooding and too much thick drops are falling. They're not able to take it. So they all ask Krishna, because of you only we are worshipping Govardhan Hill. See, now Indra is angry and see what is happening, right? So now Krishna says, do not worry, I am there. So what does Krishna do? He goes with his little finger. Okay, with his little finger, he lifts Govardhan Hill. That's such huge hill, such huge mountain. He lifts with his little finger, and he's only 7 years old. Can you imagine, right? He's just 7 years old, and 7-year-old kid goes and lifts with his little finger, tip of the little finger, the entire hill, Govardhan Hill. And he lifts up. All of them come and take shelter under the Govardhan Hill. Okay, and Indra doesn't stop. Indra continues this for 7 days and 7 nights. Continuously he pours over there. Okay, the rain keeps pouring. And then continuously for 7 days and 7 nights, this little guy holding Govardhan Hill on the tip of his little finger. Can you imagine? For protecting all the devotees, right? For all the devotees. And this is the Govardhan Leela that happens, okay? And main inherent reason why this Leela happened. Anybody knows? Why was Indra Puja stopped? Was it really because Govardhan was giving them food? Nobody knows? Okay. Yeah, so Indra was proud. Krishna never likes pride in his devotees. Krishna wants his devotees to be pure, always. False ego, pride, ownership, claiming ownership. I am producing rains. So that ownership he was claiming, right? So, and all these things, and saying, I am the doer, right? I am producing rains. But he doesn't know it is Krishna's energy that is allowing him to do things, right? We are not the doers. We learn this in Bhagavad Gita, right? Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarmasha. Ahankara vimodhatma kartahum iti manyate. We ahankara vimodhatma, delusion, because we are deluded, we think we are doing. We don't even know it is Paramatma who is letting us do it. If he sanctions, we are able to do something. And it's the 3 modes of material nature that makes us do things. Okay, so he was carried away by all this false ego and everything. And Krishna wants his devotees to be always pure. Indra is a demigod, chief of the demigods. Indra, definitely demigods are all devotees of the Lord. So when Indra got a little contaminated, Krishna wanted to purify him. So that's why he did this. When on the 7th day, Indra realized, oh, this is not an ordinary child. He is holding Govardhan Hill for so long, right? And then he surrenders to the feet of the Lord, Krishna, and then he gets the realization, oh, this is not some ordinary child. He is Krishna himself. He is the supreme personality of Godhead. And then all his pride gets crushed. Okay, so he purifies Indra this way. This is the inherent meaning. So we should always remember, nothing is there in our hands. The unseen hand is Krishna. He is handling everything. He is running the entire universe, sitting in Goloka and playing the flute. He's just sitting in Goloka playing the flute and dancing, but he's running the entire universe. Not just this universe, multiple universes. Okay, so this is what we got to understand. This is the significance of Govardhan Leela. Okay, pride needs to be kept aside, kept apart. Okay, Hare Krishna, thanks for your cooperation. I think I extended. Yeah, thank you all. Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnavinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.